Okay, so now that we've got it so that we can create new posts and get new posts, one thing that I mentioned that we were missing is the ability to have a display name. So now we're going to start actually creating our accounts. So if we go back to Firestore, we can click Authentication and then set up sign-in method. And we are going to have an email and a password method. And we're going to click Enable. And then we don't want to enable this, and we're going to click Save. Great, and now we need the authentication script that Firebase will provide us. So for example, we got the one for our Firestore functionality, so talking to the database. But now we need to import another one for the authentication because this doesn't already have the code. So I will show you how to find that next. So if we go to firebase.google.com/docs/web/setup, we can scroll down until you see all this stuff. And then we're just going to grab this auth script, which stands for authentication. Then we're just going to do that. And then you'll notice that it has this weird slash thing. We want to get rid of that. And we're going to copy this HTTPS all the way to that slash Firebase. And then we're just going to edit it so that it looks like that. Okay, so now that should work just like the other ones do. So before we actually give the user the ability to sign up for a new account or log in, we need to write the code to do it in Firestore. So we're going to create a new function called sign up. Excuse my typos. And we're going to need to send in an email, a password, and a display name. So we're going to get this from a HTML form that we make later. Okay, so then we're going to do Firebase .auth .create user with email and password. So this code is already created by Firebase and it is in that auth script that we just imported. We're going to send in email and password, and then we need to do error handling similar to what we did up here. So we're going to do .catch, but this time we're going to type in function brackets error, and then outside of here we're going to put curly braces, and then make sure it looks exactly like this or you will get an error. So then we'll just do console.log. There was an error. Hopefully we never actually trigger this. Then after here we're going to type in .then. And what this is going to do is after we create a user in Firebase using our new email and our new password, Firebase will add that, and then they will send a confirmation to us saying that it actually worked. So they actually did add it. And they will send a variable back to us called user data. So we're going to type in user data equals bracket and then curly brackets. So just as a quick recap, we sent our email and password to Firebase, and we're going to say we want to create a new user using an email and password. So then they'll say, okay, great, your user was created, and we're going to send that back to you. And now the information they sent back to us is called user data. So we're just going to make sure it worked. So if user data does not equal null, then we're going to do user data .user.update profile. And then we're going to do brackets and then curly brackets and then enter. And what we're doing here is Firebase stores the username and the password, but right now they don't know what the display name is. So we're saying, okay, that user data that you guys now have reference to, we want to add the display name to that. So we're just going to do display name, and then we're going to name this display name from here. So Firebase already has a display name variable under the user. So we have to call this left side display name. So basically they have user data, it has a user and it has a display name, but their display name is null right now because we haven't given it to them. So then on the right side, we're sending them our display name. So for example, instead of this, I could send them Colin. And then Firebase would say, okay, we're going to update this user's display name to be Colin. But we don't know what the person's name is going to be. So we just use display name, and they'll send it to us through a text input that we create later on for them. So I know that a lot is going on right now, but we're going to create another global variable called user. And then after this, we're going to set user equal to user data.user. So now if our user is signed in, we will also have access to them. So we will be able to know, like, hey, they're logged in now. So now if I actually show you guys an example of this being used, hopefully that will make things a little bit easier. So we're going to go back to our index.js, and just at the very beginning in document.ready, we're going to call sign up. And for our email, I'm just going to send in my email, colin@brilliantlabs.ca. Then for password, I'm just going to send in password. So our password will be password. And then our display name is going to be Colin. So then if I refresh the page, it will automatically call that sign up function, and it will give us an error. So it is not loading in this script. So I will have to figure out why it's not doing that. Okay, so if we go back to here, the script that they gave us actually doesn't work. So we have to type in Firebase JS. Now if we refresh our page, let's see if that works. Okay, so it's not telling us anything, which is kind of a good sign. So if we go back to authentication, and then if we go to users, we will see colin.brilliantlabs or colin@brilliantlabs.ca now exists. And it's not displaying our display name, but it does have that information, even though it doesn't show it. And it's not going to show our password because obviously that is a security issue, so they wouldn't want to show that. I'm not sure if there's a way to actually display the display name here, but if we can't, that's fine. So now if we refresh the page again, you'll notice we're going to get there was an error. And the reason why is because Firestore won't let you create an account with two of the same emails. So if we refresh the page, it will send colin@brilliantlabs.ca once again. And that's why we have this error here. So what we can actually do is console.log our error variable that is automatically sent to us by Firebase. And then if we refresh our page, we'll get this error right here. Auth/email already in use. And the message, the email address is already in use by another account. So that's something that we would want to display to the user. So if I went to sign up right now and I tried to put in my email again, we would want to get that message saying, hey, you can't sign in because you've already created an account under that email. So that's what this error is for. So just as a quick recap, we have this sign up function. We send an email, a password, and a display name. And then if we do, we call firebase.auth, and then we call create user with email and password. Then we have this error, which we've just seen how that works. Then Firebase creates the user and stores it right here. Then it sends us that data back, which would right now only have the email and password because that's how we signed up. So we say, okay, that user that has the email and password, we also want to give it a display name of our display name because we don't want to display somebody's email on their posts. So if I create a new post down here and it displays my email, that wouldn't be very good because that's just a breach of security. So I want to have almost like a nickname is what the display name is supposed to be. So now, and then we store this user as a global variable. So if I console.log user, and then we test this again, I will change my email to be column with two N's so that it won't give us an error. And then we refresh the page. it will now send us back this user data. And as you can see, it is very hard to read, and typically we would never have to, but you will notice it has a display name of Colin. It will have an email of Colin with 2 N's at brilliantlabs.ca, and a bunch of other things that we don't need. Like, for example, it would keep reference of a phone number, and a bunch of other stuff. It has our user ID. So we have a bunch of information. So if we now type in user.displayname, we will have direct access to that display name. Same with email, but it obviously won't let us do that with password. But yeah, so Firebase creates all of this for us. All we need to do is tell it the information, which is really great, and it's why we're using it, because most databases don't work like that. Okay, so now that we've created this sign up email or sign up function, we're going to create another function called login, and we're going to send an email and password into that. And now we're going to do firebase.auth.sign-in with email and password. Remember, all this stuff is case sensitive, so if you accidentally have something lowercase, it may not work, and it'll say this is not a function. Email password dot catch. So we need to make sure that we don't have errors that crash the program. So an error in this instance might be that user doesn't exist. You entered in an email and password that doesn't exist. So then if things go well, we'll have this then function, and then Firebase will send us back the user data. And then we'll want to null check it. So if user data does not equal null, then we're good. Then we're going to set user equals user data dot user. Okay, so this is how we log in. So let's kind of go over this now. So we call a function called sign in with email and password that Firebase has created, and we send them our email and password. If we have an error, we catch it, and then we'll just type in console.log our error so that we can see it and do stuff with it later. But if we don't have an error, then Firebase is going to say, yep, that was the right email and password, so we're going to send you that user data. So now, for example, we have access to our display name using our email and password. So this is how anybody would log in. And then because we display user up here, now we can access our login information from anywhere that has access to this firestore.js. So now we can have a thing up on top of the nav bar, for example, that says like, hi Colin, which is basically what we're going to be adding. So now that we've created our login function, we're going to actually want to call it. So instead of calling sign up here, we're just going to call login. Of course, make sure to get rid of the display name parameter. So we're going to send in colin@brilliantlabs.ca as an email, and then password as a password into our login. And then let's just see if that works. Okay, so it's not doing anything. Oh, we never actually, so we now have a variable called user that has that login information, but we didn't console.log it, so we can't see it. So we're just going to do that now for testing. Okay, so we sent them colin@brilliantlabs.ca and the password, and we can see here we have all this information now. So we have access to the display name, which is just going to be Colin. So that's great. So now that we have made a login and a sign up work with code, now we're going to create an HTML template that allows the user to actually sign in and log in.